Have you ever sat alone and wondered what happens in someone else's mind when you suddenly disappear? Not staying quiet for a while and then texting back. Not keeping some distance for a few days and returning as if nothing happened. But truly disappearing, completely stepping out of their life. No explanation, no warning, no trace left for them to hold on to. Only a calm yet intentional disappearance that you create with absolute clarity. In many relationships, people become accustomed to you being the one who maintains the connection. You are the patient one. You are the one who endures. You are the one who texts first, worries first, and cares first. And that steady presence makes them see you as a default part of their life. They assume you will always be there no matter how careless they become. They believe you will tolerate everything even when they repeatedly dismiss your feelings. They think you do not have the strength to walk away, and that belief makes them devalue you more and more. But then one day you choose to leave. Not loudly, not angrily, not with long messages filled with blame. You simply disappear. The silence is so sudden that they cannot understand what is happening. And the first thing they feel is not the loss of you, but the loss of control. Someone they thought would always stay is no longer there. A source of energy they took for granted is no longer accessible. A presence they dismiss now becomes an empty space that feels frightening. Stoic philosophy says you do not need to prove your worth to anyone. You also do not need to sacrifice the quality of your life to maintain a connection with someone who disrespects you. A Stoic walks away not because they are weak. They walk away because they understand their own limits. They know that not demanding respect is a way of losing dignity, and withdrawing in silence is the strongest declaration that you have reclaimed ownership of your life. In Stoicism, walking away is not revenge. Walking away is protection of the mind. It is a return to the peace that others have taken from you for far too long. And what hurts them the most is not that you disappear. It is that you disappear with complete calmness, as if their existence no longer affects you. Your silence becomes a mirror forcing them to face themselves. Because when you are no longer there, they are left to feel the emotions you once helped them avoid. And that is when 9 powerful emotions begin to rise within them, one after another, no matter how hard they try to hide them. Now we will go deeper into each of those emotions so you can clearly see the true strength of disappearing at the right time. First, the very first thing they feel when you disappear is the sting of rejection. Not a mild sense of disappointment, but a direct hit to their pride. Deep down, they never believed you would truly leave. In their eyes, you were the one who always endured, always tried, and always found a way to keep the connection alive even when they were indifferent. They were used to you being there, so they automatically believed you would always be the one who never walks away. Therefore, when you disappear completely with absolute silence, they are shocked. Your disappearance shakes the sense of control they once believed they held firmly. What hurts them is not only the fact that you no longer appear, but the meaning behind your silence. Silence means you no longer see them as the center. Silence means they no longer have power over your emotions. Silence means an uncomfortable truth that you have chosen yourself instead of them. What makes this sting even deeper is the way you leave. You do not blame them. You do not warn them. You do not ask them to change. You simply withdraw. That calmness makes them feel rejected in a very personal way. If you were angry, they could still believe you cared. But when you are silent, they understand that you have truly let go. As each hour passes, they begin to notice the emptiness they never imagined before. A quiet phone, no more messages checking in, no more unconditional warmth they once considered a given. That sting becomes a reminder that they misjudged you and overestimated their own power. And that is only the beginning of the emotions they must go through. Second, as soon as the initial shock fades, they begin to feel the emptiness your disappearance leaves behind. It is not a loud emptiness, but one that slips into every familiar rhythm of their life. Before, they were used to having you woven into their day, used to morning messages, used to your gentle concern, used to the feeling that if they came back, you would always be there. But when you disappear completely, the things they once took for granted become the things they long to have again. The first wave of missing you is not romantic longing. It is the disruption of a habit that has been abruptly cut off. When they open their phone and do not see your name, when they instinctively want to share something and then realize you are no longer part of their circle, when they pass by a place that reminds them of you and suddenly feel a little colder. These moments used to be so small that they never noticed them, but those little things become the clearest markers of your absence. What unsettles them is the fact that they can no longer reach you. The familiarity between you disappears overnight. They do not know what you are thinking. They do not know where you are. They do not know whether you are smiling with someone else. And the less they know, the larger the emptiness grows. Missing you does not appear once and fade away. It comes in layers and waves, each time cutting deeper. They miss the smallest things they once overlooked. They miss the way you listened. They miss the sense of peace they felt when talking to you. And the most painful part is that they know you are no longer there for them to make things right. That emptiness becomes the first reminder that they have lost something they cannot easily get back. Third, when the emptiness of missing you begins to expand, curiosity quietly rises and quickly becomes the strongest emotion that takes over their mind. This is not a gentle kind of curiosity. It is an uncomfortable restlessness that grows the moment they realize you have completely disappeared from their sight. In the past, they always knew where you were, what you were doing, and how you felt. They could predict your reactions, but now, every thread of connection that once existed has been cut. They begin to ask themselves questions they never considered before. Where did you go? How are you living? Are you doing well? Are you with someone else? The more questions they have, the more obsessive their curiosity becomes. They check your social media. They scroll through your old posts. They look to see if you have shared anything new. But your absolute silence makes them feel lost. They may quietly ask mutual acquaintances about you or casually bring up your name just to see if someone says anything. But no matter how hard they try to hide it, others notice their unusual interest. This confuses them because they want to keep the image that you no longer matter. Yet their actions say the opposite. This curiosity is not just the desire to know what you are doing. It is a clear sign that you have escaped their sphere of influence. They cannot predict you anymore. They cannot reach you anymore. And they cannot control the story inside their own mind. The not knowing unsettles them even more than the feeling of missing you. The moment they realize that you have disappeared in the truest sense, this curiosity becomes an obsession that follows every thought. Fourth, when curiosity has grown deep enough to make it hard for them to focus on anything else, they enter the stage they fear the most, self-reflection. This is when they are forced to face their own actions. They cannot blame circumstances. They cannot wait for you to explain. They cannot use psychological tricks to cover things up. When you disappear completely, your silence becomes a mirror reflecting every mistake they once dismissed. They start to remember the moments when they stayed silent instead of listening to you, the times they brushed off your feelings because they thought they were unimportant, the times they made you wait in sadness, the days when you tried to keep the connection alive while they acted as if your presence did not matter. All of these memories return not as soft recollections, but as a heavy wave of regret. What is striking is that when you were still there, they never thought they were wrong. They were used to your patience. They were used to your forgiveness. And because of that, they believed they could continue behaving the same way. But when you disappear, all their old confidence collapses. They look back and realize you did not leave because you were weak, but because they were not good enough. They do not dare say this out loud, but deep down they know that if they had valued you even a little earlier, things would not be the way they are now. This late realization becomes a weight they cannot easily shake off. Fifth, when they have looked at themselves long enough to clearly feel the mistakes they once ignored, another emotion rises even stronger. They want to come back and they want to chase after you. The confidence they once had, the belief that you would never leave, completely disappears. For the first time, they feel you are out of reach. And it is that distance that makes them desire you more than ever. This is no longer simple missing. This is an inner push telling them they must do something. They may try to send a message, even if it is just a hesitant line like, "Have you been doing well lately?" They may scroll through old photos and pause for a long time at the one where you are smiling carefree. They may even consider calling you, but stop themselves because they fear being ignored. You become something they want to regain, not because they are happy, but because they know they have lost something they cannot find in anyone else. They start to clearly feel that no one gives them the sense of safety and sincerity you once gave. And in this moment, they want to chase after you to see whether the door is still open or already closed forever. But what hurts them the most is realizing that you are no longer waiting for them. You are not reaching out. You are not holding on. You leave no sign that you will return. Your silence becomes a gentle yet sharp refusal. And this makes them want to run after you even more, to pull back what they once treated as something guaranteed. Sixth, when the desire to chase you begins to take over, they enter an inner conflict filled with contradictions between relief and regret. This is when they try to convince themselves that your disappearance might be a good thing, that everything will eventually return to normal. They try to believe that the freedom they have now is something they have always wanted. But the more they cling to that idea, the more uneasy they feel. Because behind that calm exterior is an emptiness they cannot explain. In the very first moment after you left, they may have felt lighter. They thought they would feel more comfortable without having to face your emotions, without having to explain, without having to care too much. But that comfort lasts only briefly. When everything becomes quiet again, regret becomes the strongest feeling that rises. They begin to realize that the things that once annoyed them are now the things they want back. The questions you used to ask, the gentle reminders, the consistent care that once made them feel restricted, now become the things they miss the most. And this contradiction torments them. They ask themselves whether they were so careless that they lost someone who always treated them with sincerity. The battle between relief and regret does not end quickly. It repeats every day. One part of them wants to believe they are fine, that they do not need you. But the other part knows clearly that they let you go too easily, and now they must live with that regret. When regret grows stronger, that is when they see their own foolishness with painful clarity. Seventh, when the battle between relief and regret leans heavily toward regret, they fall into a familiar reaction seen in people who are losing control. They want to play psychological games. This is not because they are truly strong or indifferent as they appear. It is because they feel you drifting farther away, and the game becomes their last attempt to pull your attention back. They begin posting vague status updates, cheerful-looking photos, or intimate moments with someone else just so you might accidentally see them. They hope you will feel jealous. They hope you will feel confused. They hope you will react. But the truth is that these actions only expose their inner insecurity. Someone who is truly happy does not need to display it. Someone who is truly fine does not try to prove anything to anyone. What confuses them most is that you do not react. You do not leave any sign. You do not feel jealous. You do not feel irritated. You do not ask anything. Your silence makes every tactic they use become meaningless. And the longer they receive no response, the more panicked they become, because they understand that the control they once believed they had is completely gone. This is when they realize a difficult truth. You are no longer in the game, while they are desperately spinning in circles trying to influence someone who has already stepped out of their life. Eighth, when every psychological move they try sinks into nothingness and receives no reaction from you, your silence begins to feel like a real weight on them. It is no longer ordinary silence. It is the silence that carries the heaviness of a door that is closed, making them feel trapped inside their own thoughts. Each morning they wake up and see no sign from you. They feel a little more empty. Each time they look at their phone and see no message from you, their heart sinks. Your quietness echoes like a bell they do not want to hear, because it reminds them that you no longer belong to their world. They begin to feel the heavy pressure of things they once dismissed. They remember the times you patiently waited for their reply, the times you cared while they were indifferent, the times you asked about them and they responded with coldness. Now that they are the ones isolated in silence, they finally understand how painful it used to be for you. You do not respond because you want to punish them. You are silent because you have learned to put yourself first, and you no longer want to waste time on people who do not value you. But that is exactly what shocks them, because they never believed you could be that decisive. Your silence makes them realize they have lost the privilege of access to you, lost the right to appear in your life, and lost the ability to influence your emotions. And in that exact moment, the silence becomes an obsession they cannot escape. Ninth, when your silence has become an unbreakable wall, a new emotion rises within them, stronger than all the stages before it. It is fear. Not the simple fear that you are angry with them, but the deep fear that they have truly lost you. If in the earlier stages they still tried to reassure themselves that everything was temporary, now they understand that you may have already stepped into a completely different life, a life with no place left for them. That fear does not come from perfect love or pure attachment. It comes from the realization that you are no longer within their control. They know you are strong enough to walk away. They know you are steadfast enough not to look back. And they know your silence is no longer a strategy or a test, but a decision. They start imagining you being happy with someone else. They imagine you living better without them. And those thoughts send them into a kind of panic they have never experienced before. They try to silence those thoughts by telling themselves that you will come back. But in the moments when they are honest with themselves, they know that may never happen again. This is the moment when fear reaches its peak. Someone who once believed they would never need you now realizes you are the one they cannot replace. Someone who once thought they could leave at any time now fears losing you so much that they want to turn back. They may write a long message. They may try to reach you through someone else. They may even show up unexpectedly. But all these actions carry the same message. They want to hold on to you before it is too late. And the most ironic part is that in this stage, they come back not because they have changed, but because the fear of losing you is now greater than their pride. After they have gone through all 9 intense emotions, from the initial shock to the fear of losing you forever, they finally reach a realization they never thought they would face. It is the realization that you have achieved emotional independence, a state they never believed you could reach because in the past you were someone easily hurt, easily overgiving, and easily placing your feelings above your own limits. But when you disappeared with calmness and determination, they understood you had become a different version of yourself. They realized that you no longer need them to feel whole. They realized that your life can continue, even become better, without their presence. This hits their pride harder than anything else, because deep down, they once believed you could not detach from them. They once believed you depended on their attention, but now you are living peacefully without them. And that is the truth that hurts them the most. Your emotional independence is not loud. You do not boast. You do not try to prove you are strong. You simply move forward. And that steady silence tells them you have outgrown them. No more anger, no more longing, no more clinging. It is the clearest sign of someone who has healed and will not return to a place that once hurt them. This is also the moment they realize that even if they come back, they no longer hold your heart the way they once did. Because you have learned how to build peace from within, not from the half-hearted attention of others. This leaves them with a deep sense of emptiness. They realize they have lost someone they no longer have the strength to win back. And this delayed awakening becomes the most painful emotion they must endure. When you look back at everything they went through from the moment you disappeared, you will see something very clearly. Real strength never came from you talking more or demanding that they change. The strength was in your silence, in your decision to step back at the right time, in the choice to put yourself first instead of holding on to relationships that only made you lose your worth. And that very disappearance became a lesson they will never forget. They went through the sting of rejection, felt the emptiness of missing you, were tormented by curiosity, and were forced to examine themselves. They wanted to return, wanted to repair things, wanted to play psychological games, but all of it was stopped by the steady silence you maintained. In the end, the fear of losing you forever pulled them back. But what hurts them most is not the loss itself. It is the realization that you have reached an emotional independence they can no longer touch. And that is the spirit of Stoicism. You do not need to shout to demand respect. You do not need to cling to prove your worth. You simply walk away from places that no longer match your dignity. Your departure becomes the strongest declaration that you will no longer accept being a temporary option in anyone's life. If this video resonates with you, leave a reminder for yourself by commenting, I am done being an option. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss upcoming videos about Stoicism, self-worth, and the art of staying calm in a chaotic world. Thank you for staying until the end. Keep choosing yourself. Keep choosing peace. And remember that sometimes disappearing at the right moment is the way you find the strongest version of yourself again.